Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And we always love talking about the power of volunteerism. That's why we're honored to have with us Jason Pazirandeh. He won in the adult category with the 38th annual Mary Catherine Strobel Volunteer Awards with Hands On Nashville. So Jason, congratulations. How are you doing?
I'm well. How about yourself, Jeremy?
Doing good. Congratulations on the award. And when you talk about your volunteerism, it's a powerful storyline on a lot of fronts, serving multiple nonprofits. And so let's start with where it starts for you in terms of getting involved in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. Give us a little bit of your storyline of moving to Nashville and how you started getting involved in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So I moved to Nashville a little bit under 2 years ago from the Washington, D.C. area. I had a background in consulting after graduating from the University of Virginia. And, moving to a new city for me was, I think, pretty intimidating. I'd never moved since in my 26-year life. So it was a new experience and I didn't really know that many people. So I think hitting the ground running when I first moved to North Nashville was an appetite for me to get involved in the community and start to understand what all the different things were around me. And so one day I decided to sign up for a volunteer shift just to try a new experience at a local food pantry just down the street from me. I didn't know it at the time, but it was operated by Inspiritus, a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit that operates across the southeastern U.S. And from that first shift, I helped load groceries and bring them into the food pantry and stock all the different cans and things. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I met some new people, and I got to gradually over time become inspired to keep coming back and realize the huge impact that it was making and the huge need that exists in North Nashville with regards to food insecurity. And that sparked further interest for me to explore other volunteer opportunities and realize that there are so many different things that you can do to give back to the Nashville area and Middle Tennessee. And Hands On Nashville, I've always been a huge advocate for them because I think they make it so easy to find opportunities to volunteer.
And kudos to you for saying, hey, I want to be a part of the solution. I'm going to actively take the steps to go out and get involved and volunteer. Was that always something that was like a part of your family growing up? Where did that inspiration come from for you in terms of saying, hey, I want to go out and serve?
Well, I think selfishly, it might have to do with the fact that I've always considered myself to be a pretty social person, and I like to put myself in uncomfortable circumstances and try new things. And so I was looking to meet people, and I really wanted to find fellowship with my community. And I thought volunteering has always been something that I've been eager to do, but never taken action on. And so just by signing up for that first volunteer shift and taking that initial action, I think I had such a strong experience and felt this connection to the organization I was helping that it kept me coming back. And every week, new people will sign up and I get to meet people who are there for all different sorts of reasons. And there's absolutely no judgment when it comes to community service, whether it's, for court or for academics or just because, a particular cause matters to you. It's just a great way to give back and to meet people. And yeah.
Well, one of the things that we talk about with the power of volunteerism is when you go out and you serve, when you look around at who's serving with you, volunteers care about the community, they care about others, they're going to care about you. And so when you're in there, you're there with like-hearted people who are trying to make a difference. And so to your point, it connects you to community, but you also too build community and you build amazing friendships with people who care about others, and they're going to care about you and your future as well. And so I think, when you talk about connecting to a community in a very deep way, volunteerism is such a powerful way to do that. carry that into now because you become a weekly volunteer. And so when you talk about working at the food bank and being able to really be a blessing for others, talk about how that now has really helped you personally grow on your end.
Well, it's funny you say that because one in my professional career, I've a couple years ago I took the leap and went from more consulting, energy efficiency into grant writing. And grant writing has been a very eye-opening experience for me because what it really boils down to, I think, is crafting a compelling story and crafting a compelling project that you're trying to secure funding for. And what I'm noticing at the federal level, a lot of these federal agencies like Department of Energy, EPA, Department of Transportation are really eager to see in proposals is partnerships with nonprofits and community-based organizations to show that these projects have buy-in from people at all levels of the community. And I think as a grant writer, it has really helped me to improve in my writing by being a boots on the ground volunteer on this weekly basis to really get to understand how a nonprofit operates. You know, Inspiritus, you talked about the food pantry, and obviously Inspiritus is dedicated to solving that challenge, immediate need, people need to eat. But it also offers all these other wraparound programs like, building healthy families where vulnerable, low-income women are able to, meet on a weekly basis and talk about building healthy family skills, and healthy gardens program where people can come together and build 4 foot by 8 foot raised bed gardens so that they can grow their own fruits and vegetables and share them with their neighbors and not have to rely as much on expensive groceries. There's so many other programs that I could talk about, but just by getting to understand these different programs that just one nonprofit operates in North Nashville, I feel like it's helped me make more connections and understand how it's transferable to maybe other projects in other parts of the country. So it's definitely strengthened my writing.
One of the other pieces of the puzzle for you winning the award was with your efforts with the American Red Cross and also local fire departments installing fire alarms with homes, over 1,000 in terms of what your impact has already been. How did you get involved with the American Red Cross?
Well, again, Jeremy, I took the plunge on Hands On Nashville and I signed up for a 2-hour volunteer experience. And I went to their Nashville area chapter office where, I met with Henry Pipes, who is program manager there, fantastic guy. And, he gave us a debriefing, me and a team of, volunteers that didn't really know much about the program at the time, home fire campaign. And we then deployed out to a vulnerable area in South Nashville, and we were going door to door asking, people in a vulnerable neighborhood of the South Nashville area if they were interested in free smoke alarm installations. And by the way, that apartment complex that we went to had actually partially burnt down from home fires. So they are deadly and they do happen in the Middle Tennessee area. And so even in cases where people maybe don't want smoke alarms, we also offer free fire safety education and just tips and tricks for getting out quickly and keeping you and your family safe. And so the Red Cross does a bunch of really great work, both on the emergency response side, but also on the preparedness side, preventing these events from even happening in the first place. And so just from that first experience, I loved it so much that I, asked Henry if I could take on more of a leadership role and start to actually plan and execute these fire alarm installation events. And so I forget how many we've done over the past year, maybe 6 or 7, but we just, we work with the fire departments, we collaborate with them, we give them the opportunity to actually participate in these events. And we ask them, hey, where's the best place for us to go out and where is the greatest need exist? And working closely with the fire department is so important because they actually have that data to show where these frequent, fire response deployments are happening. So it's been a great journey just juggling, obviously, my professional career as a grant writer and then also these 2 nonprofits that I've gotten involved with. But, there's so many other ways to give back and other causes that are that are out there. So I would just encourage people to go on Hands On Nashville's website, pull up the volunteer calendar, and really check to see, if you want to save puppies, there are nonprofits that are geared around those causes. If you really care about food insecurity, I'm happy to be a resource and connect you with the right organizations.
You mentioned the leadership, you stepping up and saying, hey, I want to take a leadership role. One of the comments, the testimonials, was the fact that, yes, you're a powerful volunteer, but you taking a leadership role in coordinating the efforts, recruiting others, mentoring and guiding, that's a big piece of you winning the award as well. You mentioned how all of this has impacted your grant writing. How has this changed you as a leader? So it's one thing to come in and say, okay, new city, I want to, build friendships, I want to volunteer, but then a whole nother level to say, okay, now I want to be a leader. I want to be a community champion. And so talk about now how it's changed your leadership and your perspective as a community champion.
Well, that's a fantastic question, Jeremy. And honestly, there really wasn't a day when I woke up and it just sort of happened. It was a gradual process whereby, over time, I just, from volunteering at Inspiritus on a weekly basis, the Red Cross on a monthly basis, I just became more and more familiar, got to understand both organizations and what they do better. And then, at Inspiritus, I kind of noticed some of the newer volunteers that were coming in who had never participated before, had no idea what to do. And so I kind of found myself naturally gravitating towards more of a, okay, well, maybe I can show you the ropes and help you understand. And so even just sharing some of the mission and the context of the organization and the bigger picture of what they were doing, I think really resonates with a lot of those newer volunteers who they're just kind of there and they're not really sure where they are and they need to get their bearings. And so for example, Inspiritus is actually embarking on a affordable housing redevelopment project. They're going to be building 80 units of affordable housing for elderly and disabled folks. So it's a fantastic project that's been funded by over $34 million in, federal tax credits, THDA tax credits, Barnes Fund. It's all these different braided funding streams. And it's going to have a wonderful client choice grocery store on the bottom floor that people can go in there and shop with dignity and pick out their own fresh, fruits and vegetables and other household items, as well as a technology center and a place for people to meet and have a sense of camaraderie. So sharing those kinds of details and all the exciting work that's on the horizon with volunteers is something that I love doing, in addition to helping them learn the ropes of what to do at a food pantry, stocking the shelves and putting meat in the freezers and unloading several pallets from the food truck. And I should also note that Inspiritus has a longstanding partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee. And I think that should not be overlooked because Second Harvest does so much good in the Middle Tennessee area too, as this sort of comprehensive site for distributing food to a lot of the satellite food pantries, including Inspiritus. So they play a big role too.
I would venture to say that in a short time, you're probably better connected, or I should say more deeply connected to the city than most who have lived in Nashville or Middle Tennessee for a long time. How has this changed your perspective? Because I do think when you talk about the average nationally is around 25% in terms of, who volunteers and gets involved in a community. And so there's a large percentage that just go to work, plug in and then they plug out, and the 10 o'clock news is their only view of the city. How has all of this changed your perspective, your connection with the city of Nashville?
Well, I would say that even bigger picture than that, coming to Nashville, I never would have believed how absolutely fulfilling my life would become as a result of giving back and volunteering and getting involved with organizations that need help. And people in their professional careers have all these amazing skills and interests. And I think a lot of people don't realize how they can apply those so easily to these community-based organizations that are doing all these amazing causes that people do care about. And a lot of them offer very flexible times for you to volunteer early mornings during the week or on weekends. you meet great people. Some of the best friends I've met in my life have been through this volunteering over the last couple of months. And so it's absolutely fantastic. And it just is almost a way of life to be constantly searching and on, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I found out that Ascension St. Thomas was hosting this free healthcare clinic at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I had no idea what any of that meant, but the Red Cross asked me to go and represent them along with a couple of other volunteers. So I showed up. And then next thing I knew, I'm talking with all these people, getting to understand this amazing event where they're offering free dental services, free prescriptions, free meals, all these other healthcare services that you would not believe. And I would never have found out about it if I wasn't plugged into this network of volunteers and community leaders. And so the more you give, the more you get back.
Yeah, absolutely. So carry that into what this award means. So congratulations again. The award is the 38th annual Mary Catherine Strobel Volunteer Awards, and you're the winner in the adult category with Hands On Nashville. So talk about what that award means to you.
What that award means to me is that I have been given a platform to share an important message. And that message is, number one, if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to sign up for that volunteer shift, or you're wondering how to get involved, go on to Hands On Nashville's website and sign up for something that you care about, because you will not regret it. And taking action, taking that first step is so important to starting that journey. And number two, selfishly, I am using it as a way to advocate for the Red Cross and all the amazing work that they do. They have an amazing volunteer network and engagement program. They'll make you feel like you're part of a family. I mean, they sent me a birthday card last week, for crying out loud. And the other thing is Inspiritus. They have weekly Thursday volunteer shifts. If you live in the North Nashville area or are interested in checking it out, go sign up for one and help us out at the food pantry. I'd love to meet you. And the other thing is they are still looking to finish fundraising for the rest of their affordable housing redevelopment project. Most of that funding is specifically geared towards the housing-related expenses. So they're still needing to fundraise for the Client Choice grocery store and the technology center and some of those other missing pieces. And so I would ask that people, if you feel it in your hearts to give, go on to Inspiritus's website and consider donating a little bit, because it will go very far. And even if you're just giving $5, $10, makes a big difference.
So we have Inspiritus, American Red Cross, Hands On Nashville, all of those in terms of going and getting involved. Where else can we go to follow your efforts? So LinkedIn, where do we go to follow you and your efforts?
Well, you can obviously get connected with me on LinkedIn. I am a grant writer and I work in the energy efficiency industry. So I have shared some volunteer opportunities on there. So, but the ones you covered, Jeremy, are definitely the ones that I would direct people to.
Well, congratulations again on the 38th annual Mary Catherine Strobel Volunteer Awards with Hands On Nashville. So congratulations, and you are definitely a source of inspiration and a change maker. So Jason, thank you for all you do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Great talking with you, Jeremy. Thank you.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.